Two of the worst plagues on the computer industry are spam and viruses. And what a lot of people don't realize is the two problems are actually one and the same, and they need to be addressed from the source. Now, spam creates a problem where people sometimes get viruses. They'll get a virus in a link from an email, and it sort of snowballs from there. You get a spam, you think it's from UPS, you click the link, you go to a website that you think is UPS, and you download and run a program that you think is from UPS to view your package status, and that creates a problem. But the problem there is it's a snowball effect, because what they're actually doing with most of the viruses, some of them you'll never know you have them for months or years because they are silent viruses. And you think, well, what good is a silent virus? Well, what they're actually doing is in that virus, they are turning your computer into a SpamBot, essentially a program that they then can control to then send further spam or to do other even more malicious things. So what happens is you have a small group of really heavy-duty spammers, and their primary function is to infect as many computers as possible so that they can send more and more spam and control more and more computers. This is it in a nutshell. You have, let's say, there could be as few as 10 spammers that could send out billions of emails. Now, if you were a spammer, you would not possibly be able to send out 1 billion emails from your service, no matter how big they are. So what they do is they then send out those emails to a bunch of people who they then infect their computers and turn those computers into, again, a spam bot, which is essentially a computer that they can then control. So now if they want to send out 1 billion emails, all they need to do is control, let's say, 10,000, 100,000 unsuspecting people's computers into spam robots. And then they can divide their list by 10,000. And if they're lucky, they can get 1 million people to have their virus running in the background. And when they want to launch a massive email attack or a massive attack on infrastructure like military, government, and other things, they can issue essentially a command to those millions of computers that they control, and they then can cause some serious problems, not just an annoyance. So the issue here is there are things that Microsoft and other companies could do to make these computers more secure. I think I've profiled them in a couple other posts, and I'll maybe do some new ones. But essentially, the problem is that the spam problem is more related to the virus problem. So we need a more secure environment. If an operating system like Windows worked more like iOS, which is the operating system on the iPhone and the iPad, there would be almost no spam bots out there, because it's really hard for a third party to take control of somebody's iPhone or their iPad. And it's drastically easier taking control of Windows. And that's because Microsoft kind of leaves too many holes unplugged. And maybe I'll cover that in a future video again. But essentially, if we don't get on top of the spam problem, the virus problem, the spam problem and the virus problem will continue to snowball. We have to stop the chain somewhere. And it doesn't stop with just stopping spam. We have to stop the virus problem, because it does create those networks of millions of computers that are used to do really bad things. So there's a quick overview of how that whole thing works, and that's today's idea of the day. All right, there it is. That's today's idea of the day. Some of them are pretty good, right? And some of them suck, I admit. First to admit, some of my ideas suck. But if you visit Idea of the Day every day and you subscribe to my channel by looking at the subscribe link in the corner, you'll see a brand new idea every single day. And I promise you, some of them don't suck.